The settlement on Caltris 7 reeked of decay. The air carried the sour tang of rotting grain stores, of stagnant water, of hunger. Flies swarmed in black clouds, buzzing over the sick and the dying. Once, this outpost had been a proud farming colony, exporting food to half the quadrant. Now, after the droughts and the raids, its people withered in silence. Captain Jonah Rains walked slowly through the ruins. His boots crunched against brittle soil that had forgotten what rain felt like. His uniform was torn, the last mission long behind him. He carried no squad, no ship, just a single rucksack and a half-empty canteen. He was a soldier, without a war. And yet, when he stepped into the broken marketplace, he saw her. She lay in the shade of a collapsed stall, her body half hidden beneath scraps of cloth. Her skin, a pale lavender hue, was stretched thin over sharp bones. Her face was hollow, her lips cracked. She barely moved, except for the faint rise and fall of her chest. And around her, the flies gathered, drawn by the smell of weakness. Jonah froze. He'd seen starvation before, whole villages gutted by famine during the campaigns on Coral. He'd buried children no older than his niece back home. But something about this woman rooted him in place. She turned her head slightly, as if sensing his presence. Her eyes opened, large, silvery, filled with a hollow ache. He took a step closer. Her voice was barely a whisper. "Leave me." Jonah crouched beside her. "What happened to you?" She closed her eyes. "Husband taken by raiders. Children gone with the fever. I waited for death. Death didn't come. Only hunger." Her words cracked, like dry earth splitting. Jonah's chest tightened. He slipped the rucksack from his shoulders and pulled out his last ration pack, a protein bar wrapped in silver foil. He'd been saving it for the march north for survival. He held it out to her. Her eyes widened faintly. "No, you'll need it." "I've had worse odds," Jonah said softly. "You need this more than I do." Her hands trembled as she reached for it. She tore the wrapper with shaking teeth, devouring the bar in desperate bites. Flies scattered at her sudden movement. When she finished, she slumped back, breath coming easier now. A faint flush returned to her cheeks. She whispered, "Why? Why would a human give away food to me?" Jonah shrugged. "Because you're alive. That's reason enough." Her eyes filled with tears, but no sound came from her throat. She had cried herself dry long ago. That night, Jonah built a small fire beside the stall. The settlement was eerily quiet, too many dead, too few strong enough to speak. The woman lay curled beneath a blanket he gave her, shivering despite the warmth. "What's your name?"
Jonah asked.
"Soraya," she whispered. "Soraya." He nodded. "You're not going to die here. Not like this." She shook her head weakly. "I have nothing. No family. No strength. Why save me?" Jonah stared into the flames. "Because no one deserves to be left alone. Not in this universe. Not while I'm still breathing." Days passed. Jonah scavenged what he could, roots from the withered fields, scraps of grain overlooked by raiders, water boiled from the foul stream. He gave most of it to Soraya, eating little himself. Her strength returned slowly. She could sit up now, even walk a few steps. Each night, she whispered stories of her people, of harvest songs sung under violet skies, of children laughing in fields that now lay dead. Jonah listened, silent, carrying her grief as though it were his own. On the 5th night, she asked him, "Why are you alone? Where is your family?" He hesitated. "Back on Earth. My wife," she didn't wait. Letters stopped coming. "Guess she thought I'd never come back from the war." Soraya's eyes softened. "So you're like me. Empty. Jonas shook his head. Not empty. Just searching for something worth holding on to. Her gaze lingered on him in the firelight. For the first time, her lips curved in the faintest smile. The next morning, trouble found them. Raiders, 6 of them, armored in scraps, rifles slung carelessly, stalked through the ruins, searching for survivors to enslave. Jonah spotted them from the shadows and pressed Soraya back behind a broken wall. Stay here, he whispered. She clutched his sleeve. You'll be killed. Better me than you. Before she could protest, he slipped into the street, his pistol in hand. He had only 6 rounds left. The raiders laughed when they saw him. Human soldier, one sneered. Thought you lot were gone. Turn around, Jonah said calmly. Nothing here for you. They raised their rifles. Jonah fired first. The street exploded in gunfire, echoes shattering the silence of the dead city. Jonah dropped 2 raiders before they hit the ground. He ducked behind a stone pillar, heart pounding. Plasma scorched the air around him. He fired again, 3rd raider down.
His clip ran dry.
The last 3 advanced, grinning, blades drawn. Then Soraya stepped from the shadows. Her voice rose in a sharp, piercing wail, an old Valari keening song. The sound cut through the air like glass, stunning the raiders for a heartbeat. Jonah surged forward, knife flashing. 2 raiders fell. The last one snarled, raising his rifle. Soraya, weak as she was, grabbed a broken spear from the rubble and thrust it forward. The raider choked, eyes wide, before crumpling. Silence. Jonah stood panting, blood dripping from his arm. He turned to Soraya. You're stronger than you think, he said. She dropped the spear, trembling. I thought I was already dead. Jonah gripped her shoulders. Not anymore. By evening, they left the ruins together. Jonah led her along the cracked road that stretched toward the horizon. Where are we going? She asked. North, Jonah said. There's a relief station. Food, medicine, a chance. Soraya stared at him. Why keep me alive? You've already given everything you had. Jonah smiled faintly. Because maybe saving one person makes all the wars worth it. She walked beside him in silence, the setting sun painting the sky in shades of fire and gold. Days later, when they finally reached the relief station, Soraya collapsed into the medic's arms. She was alive, though still frail. Jonah stayed at her side, refusing to leave even when the doctors urged him to rest. That night, as she lay on a real bed for the first time in months, she whispered, When I was lying there, with flies on my skin, I thought the universe had forgotten me, that I wasn't worth saving. Jonah's hand closed around hers. His voice was steady, but thick with emotion. You were always worth saving, Soraya. Don't ever believe otherwise. Her eyes shimmered with tears. For the first time, she let them fall freely. And in that small, broken relief station on the edge of the galaxy, 2 souls who had lost everything found the faint spark of something new.